Starfield is inevitably going to end up being one of Bethesda's largest games, not just in the scope of the world, but in release terms. Compared to anything that we've had in recent years, looking at you Fallout 76, it looks like it's going to be a great breath of fresh air, and after I've had enough time to kind of sit back and digest the information that they've given us during the Direct last week, I think it's finally time that I go ahead and make a video based off of what I think my thoughts, hopes, and expectations are going to be for Starfield. And honestly, I'm going to come right out and say that I am very, very optimistic for this game. A lot of the gameplay that they showed us really fixed a lot of the issues that I've had with Bethesda's recent RPGs. Not only the fact that it's, single player and we don't have to deal with the whole live aspect MMO version of Fallout 76, but just a lot of the mechanics introduced and the direction that they're taking the game, honestly, to me, seems like it's going to be fantastic. I love the amount of detail that we were shown in the world. I mean, everything looks vibrant, there's good colors, the weapons look good, even the items on the ground look good. I mean, everything about this game looks good, besides maybe some of the NPCs and their faces, but I mean, that's gonna either be fixed by modders super early on, or Bethesda themselves are gonna make a patch and fix it themselves, or, we're still a couple months away from release. I'm sure they're probably smoothing some stuff over based off community feedback, but a lot of the details that I've seen with this game have me very optimistic. Bethesda always drops good RPGs. Any of their single player games are usually 9 times out of 10 great games. Fallout 4, like it or not, was still a good game. It wasn't a great Fallout game, in my personal opinion, but it was still a good game. Fallout 3 was absolutely groundbreaking, being the first-person Fallout game that we had. New Vegas, while not fully developed by Bethesda and mostly done by Obsidian, was still, outlined and published by Bethesda, so I still kind of count that under them. I mean, Oblivion, amazing. Skyrim, I'm personally not the largest fan of, but I can still recognize that it's an absolutely groundbreaking, amazing RPG. So whether you like Bethesda or not, they still drop absolutely successful games, and Starfield is definitely going to be another one of them, regardless of how it turns out. I have a feeling this game is definitely going to have some issues at launch, but then again, it's Bethesda, so there are features, not bugs. But again, based off the information that I've seen, there are a few problems with the game. Mostly, again, the NPC faces are just really off to me, and I'm hoping that with the planets being procedurally generated and not everything being handcrafted, that we don't end up with just a complete barren world like No Man's Sky was on release, because a lot of the things I've seen from Starfield do give me No Man's Sky vibes, but not No Man's Sky on launch vibes. I don't think Bethesda is over-promising here. Bethesda's never really been known as a company to completely over-promise on a game and just lie about what's there. I mean, we've had plenty of memes when it comes to Bethesda. It just works. 16 times the detail. I could go on, but that's Todd. We'll ignore that. But so many of the mechanics that I've seen in this game have me absolutely excited. I mean, I saw, skill-based dialogue windows and dialogue options where perks and traits that you have are going to actually affect some of the dialogue options that you get in the game, and that's something that Fallout 4 was lacking. I mean, the skill and perk system that they've added looks to be completely revamped from the system that we had with Fallout 4 and Fallout 76, which I think was a major issue with those games, and that's why I'm extremely excited for Starfield's new systems, because I think having that new perk system and retrofitting a perk system that the community wasn't exactly a big fan of is a great thing. Not to mention, we're going back to a non-voiced protagonist, I believe, which, again, I believe that's something that hurt Fallout 4 because they couldn't really expand on the dialogue with having a voiced protagonist just because of the limitations that gives you. I saw, the shipbuilding looks great. The new settlement building looks really, really fun. I think it's going to be a lot less tedious than Fallout 4. Don't get me wrong. Settlement building in Fallout 4 was super, super fun, but it definitely had its issues in a lot of the mechanics with it. I personally don't, spend hours and hours and hours building a settlement in Fallout 4. I just kind of make one that's functional and then leave it at that. But seeing the new revamped building mechanics with Starfield really makes me want to get back into that, and it gives me hope for building in Starfield. It makes me want to try to build settlements, especially if there's going to be AI. I don't think they touched on that, whether or not you can actually bring NPCs and stuff to your settlements, but I'm hoping that you can. A lot of the gunplay that I saw looked really, really good. I saw a lot of variety compared to Fallout 4. I think Fallout 4 was by far the worst Fallout game in terms of vanilla weaponry. A lot of the guns in that game were just completely bland. I mean, don't get me started on the Fallout 4 assault rifle. That is just a travesty to the community. I don't think anyone in the Fallout 4 community actually really likes a lot of the guns in Fallout 4, but I'm really, really excited based off of the weapons that I saw in gameplay and a lot of the things that I saw in the inventory and the new weapon modification system. I think it fits a lot better here, and I think it's going to be a lot bigger of an improvement over Fallout 4. I like that they're still keeping the fact that we can really pick weapons and make them our own just based off of the different things that we can do to them. So I think that is definitely a huge plus. But a lot of the things I've seen just really haven't given me enough reason to doubt the game. It hasn't given me enough reason to want to actively stay away from the game. I am going to be getting Starfield on launch. I am super excited to be making challenge runs on it. I probably am going to need to play through it once or twice before I can, get the ability to make challenge runs and videos on it. But that's, again, more content that I can use here because my channel is kind of based around Bethesda games. So having more content to do with Bethesda just, that gives me hope no matter what. And I think a lot of the mechanics that I saw on the Direct, a lot of the things that they went into depth with, just make the game look great. I didn't even touch really on a lot of the space combat or anything like that, a lot of the space exploration or anything, because that's something that's going to be kind of subjective. I'm really into space games. I love space games. I play a whole different group of space games, whether it be on PC, console. I play a ton of different genres with space games. I just absolutely love doing different space games, so that's probably going to be a lot better to me than it is to some people. But I mean, a lot of people that are into super hardcore space sims, whether it be stuff like Elite Dangerous, they might not enjoy Starfield's more arcadey approach to space stuff, and that's again going to be completely subjective. But regardless, I am 100% excited for this game. And I want to reiterate that while I'm excited, I am definitely cautiously excited when it comes to this, because we've had some definite flops in recent times with games, whether you want to go clear back and again drag out Fallout 76. But I'm not talking just with Bethesda, just games in general. We've definitely had some flops in recent years, and that's why I think Bethesda is one of those companies that their game might not always be the absolute greatest or super polished or whatever on release, but that whatever they release is going to be a good product. Bethesda doesn't release games that they're completely unsatisfied with unless they're, trying something new. 76. Again, I can get into a debate on that all day, but that's not what we're here for. So I have a lot of high expectations for Starfield, and I'm really hoping that Bethesda can capitalize on the genre that they're going into, because space games are great. There's so many different things that you can do and try with space games, and that's why I think it's a great genre for them to try to build an RPG out of, because a lot of space games are more open-ended and sandbox-based rather than RPG, story-driven, player choices, stuff like that. So I think this is really, really a good choice for them going forward, and I'm hoping that they can really capitalize on that. But the mechanics that I've seen, whether it be the gunplay, the perk system, the new dialogue, everything, that looks absolutely great. My expectations for the story are, honestly, I don't really have any. I mean, I don't really play too into the story on a game. If the story is absolutely amazing, top tier, something like The Last of Us, I can definitely get into it. I can connect with the characters. I can feel for the characters. I love that. But I feel like whenever I play through Bethesda games, the thing that mainly draws me is the world building, the character customization, and honestly the combat. I absolutely love combat when it comes to Bethesda games, and that's why I'm extremely excited for the massive weapon variety that I saw during the Direct. That is probably my most anticipated thing, is just having a super high arsenal of really badass weapons to go around and kill a bunch of space pirates with, and I think that is probably my highest expectation from Starfield at the moment is just the combat. If the combat is good, I can honestly really overlook a lot of other details personally. I don't care if the story is bad if the combat is amazing, because I like doing weapon-based challenges. So if I have good combat, that makes the challenges funner for me, and in turn makes me want to keep playing the game. I think the enemy variety that I saw looks really good. We have, our stereotypical humanoid enemies, but there were also a lot of other enemy varieties. We had, all these wacky aliens to deal with and robots, and I think that's good because it's gonna give more openness to the combat instead of just fighting humans all the time constantly. I feel like a lot of the time in Fallout 4, the majority of the enemies that you're fighting are always just humanoid enemies. It's ghouls, raiders, and super mutants for the most part, unless you're in like the glowing sea. So based off of the enemy variety that we have been shown in the direct, I'm very, very optimistic for that part, and the combat I'm very, very open-minded to. The space exploration, again, looks great. I kind of have to get my hands on to see what that's going to be like for the most part, so I'm not really going to give too much insight into that because every space game does it differently. I have no idea how it's really going to feel unless I can actually play it, but the world building looks amazing. The cities that we've seen, the landscapes, everything just looks absolutely beautiful. And I know I probably come across really positive in this video, and it's probably because I am super hyped and positive for Starfield. I'm very optimistic when it comes to Bethesda. I mean, this is the first new IP that we've had from them in so many years that it's really just giving me a feeling like I feel like it's going to be their new love child. They're going to put so much care into this game that I don't think they're going to let it turn out bad unless like something absolutely just ridiculous happens during launch. So yeah, I definitely have a few gripes with the game, but honestly for the most part, nothing has given me a reason to not want to invest time into this and play this game. I am very open-minded going into this, and I am very excited for what Bethesda is going to do here. But yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts so far on the game. I don't want to turn this into a 2-hour-long discussion on why I love the game already, even though it's not out, so feel free to let me know what you guys think in the comments. I would love to hear your guys' opinion on it going forward, and we'll just have to, wait and see what Bethesda does for us in the future. I'm definitely keeping my hopes up. But as always, thank you guys for watching and supporting the channel. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for stopping by. I know this isn't a normal video for me to post, but I really just wanted to give my thoughts and opinions on it so that I can reflect later on and see how close I was with my expectations. But thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.